You can double jump out of the gravity cannons on Storm Point as Octane. Just run up to this spot here, throw the jump pad exactly where I do, and approach it from this specific angle. If you approach from the wrong angle, you can go too high or too far and the gravity cannon won't launch you. Then simply run and slide onto the jump pad, and when you get launched by the gravity cannon, you'll have the option to double jump when you get to the end of it, meaning you can get so much extra distance. This one could be a little bit difficult to learn, but trust me, once you've got it down, it can be such a useful tip for rotations. And did you know that as Wraith, you can actually cancel this annoying animation when you come out of phase? And it's super easy as well. All you have to do is make sure you don't have your ultimate ability before you go into your phase, and then when you come out of it, make sure you press your ultimate button, and what it's going to do is completely cancel that animation, meaning you can shoot as soon as you come out of phase. If you didn't know these tips, then now you do. Knowledge. But if you did, then don't worry, because I have so many more tips and tricks for beginners and for experienced players in this video, especially tip 4 I think everyone can relate to, which is exactly why you should subscribe to the channel for more regular Apex Legends content from myself. Trust me, there's a lot more where this comes from. The first piece of advice I would have to players who are coming to Apex for the first time is to switch up that mentality. Apex is not just about surviving and winning. Well, I mean, it can be, but you're not going to be improving at the game if you solely aim to just survive and win games. You really need to be actively seeking fights. Learning how to fight real players in Apex is something that takes a long time, because players are unpredictable and for the most part quite good at the game, because the game has been out for 3 years now. Sorry guys, but shooting the firing range dummies is not going to prepare you for a stinking caustic. It was recently found that you can gain momentum when going down hills if you just punch the floor behind you. Like seriously, I'm not even jumping here and it's lifting me off the ground. It's literally like a slip and slide in Apex. I mean, look how fast this mammoth is sliding down the hill. So a lot of people are starting to play Valk recently, but not a lot of people know that you can actually shoot Valk's missiles behind her whilst running in the opposite direction. All you have to do is bring out your missiles, look at the ground and jump, and the missiles will shoot behind you at anyone who's chasing you. As you can see, very effective. Now, a tip that I think a lot of you will be able to relate to is that some players just need to open their eyes. I mean, come on. How has this man not seen me? I swear this is the most common rassing spot in fact, let me know in the comment section down below, have you ever seen anyone rat in this corner, in the train station, in Fragment East? Because I swear there's always someone in this corner. One of the biggest mental blocks that stops people from improving faster in Apex is the fact that it's so annoying when you die sometimes. It just feels like you couldn't do anything in certain situations, and I'm here to tell you that you can't. There are some situations that you get put in by Apex which are just totally out of your control. Sure, there are things you can do better to prevent those situations from happening. You should definitely analyze those things yourself, but there are so many of you who beat yourself up for situations that you just can't control being put in. Take this situation here, for example, where I get surrounded by about 3 to 4 teams in the middle of the zone, and I try my absolute best to survive. I get an armor swap off, but every single angle of mine is being covered. I realized as soon as I died, there was absolutely nothing I could do to escape this scenario, and that's okay. Now, as I'm sure many of you will all know, getting a 20 bomb in Apex Legends is one of the hardest things you can do. There's definitely a lot that goes into getting a 20 bomb on Apex, and if you want an updated breakdown on how to get it in the easiest way possible, then get this video to 2,500 likes and I'll see what I can do. Often you'll find yourself in a position where you have to kill the last 2 or 3 squads remaining in order to get that full 20 kills, but the issue is you can't control whether or not the other 2 teams fight each other first. If you find yourself in this position and you're able to third party in time, then you should always aim to take out the team that is winning that fight. If you're able to wipe them before they manage to finish the team they were originally fighting, then you'll be able to thirst the downs that they got and you will get the kills for them. A lot of you are loving the brand new reticle color system, but PC players can go by adding a custom color value preset into the launch options menu before going into the game. You can have them in any color that you want, and having a bigger reticle that is so bright can end up helping your aim a little bit. Okay, fine. I'll come clean. The rumors are true. The Simply Ashton store is having a Christmas sale for the last few remaining merch hoodies that we have left. So guys, if you want to grab yourself one of these before Christmas, make sure to pick them up now. They're on sale, super cheap. They're never going lower than this, and there's only a few remaining, so get them while you can. Going back to everyone's favorite favorite flying female. I'm sure a lot of you have seen this Valkyrie rotation on World's Edge shown all over social media at the moment, and I have to say it's really, really cool. It allows you to get from the middle of Fragment West all the way to the middle of the Harvester, which is a crazy distance to cover, and then you can just jump straight in the lava and end your misery. But seeing this rotation got me thinking about how many potential rotations that people are missing out on simply because they're not climbing to the highest possible place they could be when using Valcult. A prime example is this choke point right here in Storm Point. Now, as many of you will know, a lot of fights happen down here, and getting through this choke point through the mountain can be deadly if a team is gatekeeping you on the other side. Usually the Valcult wouldn't be tall enough to get you over the top of the mountain and to fly all the way to checkpoint, but that's no longer an issue when you just climb to the top of the building for that little bit of extra height. It allows you to just get over the mountain and give you the safe rotation all the way through, and there are so many spots all over the map and on other maps as well where this is entirely possible, so make sure you're climbing up to the highest possible altitude before you take off. And now we are entering the part of the video that I like to call Pathfinders Paradise, where we like to talk about the finest grapples in the civilized world. As a Pathfinder main, you might think it's as easy as to point and shoot your grapple and to swing in the direction you want, but there's so much hidden potential behind his Q that so many players have not yet accessed. For example, you can slingshot in the opposite direction to which you're moving in by maintaining the momentum from the direction in which you're moving in by sliding or jumping in that direction, turning around and grappling off of an object which takes you in the other direction, and this is going to launch you so far forward, and it can be particularly useful for tasks like grabbing banners, as you can see here. Mission successful. There's also the bunny hop grapple, which allows you to jump slightly higher than your average jump by jumping and grappling the floor at the right time. By doing this, you're able to surprise enemies. Clearly it just works perfectly, but this is often just used for traversing the terrain without climbing. And then you've also got the double back grapple, which is when you hold onto your grapple instead of detaching it, allowing you to just double back on yourself, so you go in one direction and then back on yourself, and so often this is going to bamboozle your enemies. Another cheeky little tip for all you Wraith mains is that if you have an Ashe on your team and they use their ult, you can use your phase to go into the ult, and when you come out on the other side of the Ashe ult, you're going to be able to phase again without the cooldown, meaning you have 2 phases for the price of 1. One of the biggest and most important tips I could give you to improve instantly at Apex Legends is to work on singling people out when you're fighting a team. I know, it's a simple concept, but taking on 3 1v1 fights instead of 1 1v3 fight, it's just so much easier. The tough part is in separating these enemies into those 1v1 scenarios, and this can be done by using your movement. This is the easiest way to separate people, and this is exactly why you see so many people flock to the streamer building in Fragment East, and also the construction building in Fragment West. If you don't already, then just land there in pubs, and you're guaranteed to find a bunch of people there, and 1 out of 10 times, you'll get the best loadout of everyone, and you can work on zipline bouncing between the different floors and taking so many different 1v1s, and it's going to help you improve dramatically over time. It's obviously worth noting that this is so much easier with movement characters and offensive legends like Wraith, so if you're someone who is an experienced player and you think, this is old news, I know how to do this, then you should practice this with a non-movement based character, and it's going to force you to play a little bit sweatier and try a little bit harder, and that's exactly what you need sometimes to take you to that next level. And last but not least, my final tip for you guys is to embrace the vertical grenade meta. This is where you throw grenades up in the sky and have them land on your opponent's heads. Not only are they not going to see it coming, but they're also going to take a lot of damage if you manage to land it right on top of them. If you enjoyed this video, then join me next time where I go over Apex Legends stereotypes. I'll see you in that one. Take it easy, and goodbye.